it's Kate from Inkstampshare.ink. I've got a fun card to show you how to make today. I wanted a card to send to somebody with, I wanted to write inside it, and I wanted to put some photographs inside there. So I love this stamp set, and this is what sentiment I've used is enjoy the little things, and I thought it would just be perfect for sending those to somebody. Now I've put it down, the stamp set. Where have I put it? Do you ever craft yourself into a corner? Well, I do. Okay, here we have it. It's called Layering Love. And we've got Live, Laugh, Love. Enjoy the little things. I am much more me when I'm with you. And sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. And I love the different fonts in them. They're fab. So I think on this next one, I'm going to use Live, Laugh, Love. So I'm going to show you how we make the card. Let me move this one out of the way. Okay, I've used the Blushing Bride pink cardstock, and it's an A4 piece of card, and I've cut it in half at 14.8 centimetres, and I've scored it in half at 10.5 to make the base. And I'm going to have my base landscape. So landscape, that's right, isn't it? And I've used the lovely daisy papers that go in this suite. There's a big pack of 12 by 12 called Delightful Daisy, and they're full of beautiful images. And so I'm using this print, and that's going to be my first layer. And then I have got some ribbon. I've got some of the silver ribbon, absolutely luxurious ribbon. It's beautiful. And this is going to go across the front of my card as well. So I'm just going to chop a piece of this off, and I'm going to stick it onto my card before I put the layer down. Now I found the best way to stick ribbon is to use some of the snail excuse me, adhesive tape runner, and it doesn't make glue go everywhere, and you don't end up soaking in wet glue or anything like that. It's really quite useful. And I just put a bit in the middle to anchor it down so that your ribbon doesn't look like it's floating around. And I'm just going to put it on and hope I get it in the right place. There we go. Just going to pop that on. Okay, like so. It's going to go on there like that. Now I'll show you how I do the daisy. Now the daisy, I've already punched some of these daisies out. I've punched out 3 because I think if you put one of these daisies on here, it looks a little bit bare. But if you layer them up, you can layer as many as you like to get a really full flower. And I'm actually going to do 4. So I've punched out 3 already. And I'm going to punch another one. Now when I'm using my punches, I always hold them upside down, and then that way you can see where your cardstock is going. You don't punch into anything you don't want to punch into. And if you need to line it up with a stamp, obviously you can see that where you've stamped it. This is a bit awkward, this one. So I might just use a different piece. Oh no, that should work. Let's go for that. There we are. So let's move that out of the way. There we go. Let's take that one out of there. So now we've got 4 of the daisies, and I'm going to layer them up just with a little bit of Tombow glue. Love this glue. Just pop a little bit in the middle. You don't need very much. It's very strong. I'm going to make the layers of my daisy curl up the edges slightly just by rubbing them with my fingers. Like so. And you just offset it to fill in the petal gaps. Another little blob of glue in the middle. Curl them up again. I do apologise if I get my head in the shot. And then offset it slightly again. The good thing about the Tombow glue is you get a little bit of wriggle room, so you can move it slightly just for a few seconds before it sets. Last one going on. A little bit of glue in there. I don't have my little friend in here today. I often have the cat or the dog in here, more often the dog. He doesn't tend to leave my side, he's my shadow. You can hear his little feet tapping around, but he's found somewhere else today. So I have got the little faceted gems. They're absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to put one right in the middle of my daisy. I use one of the big ones just to set the daisy off. Really makes the daisy, I think. And it's going to go on here. But this is where I'm going to put my sentiment. Now I'm going to do that onto these pieces of scrap card I've got here. So I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I've got the matching ink pad, which is Blushing Bride. All of Stampin' Up's colours match, so you can match your ink with your cardstock and the ribbons and embellishments and papers and things. They all match, which means you don't have to guess or try and match anything up, which is brilliant. So I'm going to just stamp Live, Laugh, Love right in the middle of this scrap piece of Whisper White, like that. And I've got these dies. Now this is the stitched shaped framelits, and I'll show you what they are because I use them a lot, but I don't very often get them all out to show you what I've got. So they are called the stitch shaped framelit dies, and I've used them a lot, so they're in a bit of a pickle. But you get the ovals and you get the circles, and on the back here you've got the squares. If you can see those, you've got the squares, and they have, once you've cut them out, they have like this stitch relief, which is really, really nice and gives a little bit of added extra to the shape. And all of those circles, squares and ovals match with the layering shapes. So I've got the layering ovals here. So we've got all the different sizes of oval framelit, and then the coordinated scallop shapes as well. Now the stitched shapes and the shapes coordinate. Stampin' Up are very good at making things coordinate so that they fit inside each other, they nest. So I'm going to be cutting this one out in the white, and then I'm going to be cutting this one out in the scallop circle, oval even. And the great plus, I think, about the dies is that you can have a great big packet of nesting dies for much less cost than than if you had all those punches, and also you don't have to store them either. So I'm just cutting the shape out on the big shot, so it's just out of shot and you'll just hear it going through the machine. Yeah, so storage of a die set is very flat, isn't it? But obviously you have a lot of punches, you have to store those. Right. So this is where it cuts out with a die with the stitched relief, like that. Brilliant. And then I'm going to cut this one out as well. Just take a second. Here we go. There we are. So I'm going to pop those together, and I'm just going to use a bit of snail. Just be fast. Pop it on there. And it just nests lovely on there. So here's our card. Oops, a daisy. I am going to use some dimensionals to pop up the sentiment and the daisy. These double-sided sticky foam pads are brilliant for that, and one layer of the Stampin' Up dimensionals will go through the post with no added extra cost, which is brilliant, because that's something you don't want, an unexpected surprise. And just kind of make an idea of where you're going to have it, like that. And then one for the daisy, like so. Okay, and then I think I might put some of these little gems. I've got mine in a bag. I'll cut them up for a class, so I've got a little strip. I'm going to put some of these little gems just to give it an added sparkle, just to echo the centre of the daisy, really. Oh, they've stuck to it more than me than the card now. I think that's really pretty. That's nice. So I'm going to gotta find the centre of my card now. Here it is. Talk about crafting myself into a corner. Right, okay, so I'm going to glue this in. Now I'm not going to write or stamp anything in the middle of my card because I would like to write a handwritten message in there. Normally I would stamp something, but this time I want to send us some photographs to a friend, and I would just write in here. So, let's put my layer on. Would help, wouldn't it? Maybe if I put the glue on here, because I should have put it on my layer. There we are. That's our card completed. I hope you like it. So I've got this one and this one, and I think they're both really pretty. I hope you like it. So all the dimensions and the materials that I've used and all the product numbers and where you can get them from will be on my blog, which is inkstampshare.ink. And if you'd like to browse my shop, have a look at katebolt.stampinup.net. Thanks for stopping by.